What's up guys, Sam Rebels Off-Road. We have some exciting new products to test out for you. And today we have the NiceCNC whip lights. Nice! That they sent out to us for testing. And so we have them right here. We're gonna get them unboxed and check them out. I'm gonna show you how to install them, how they work, what the features of them are, and what my overall review and impression of them are. So stay tuned, smash that like button, and subscribe for more great content, and we're gonna get right into this video.
Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning.
All right, so here is the box, and we're gonna go ahead and open it up and see what they look like. Now these ones are the 3-foot dual lights. It has apparently 300 kinds of light combinations and 16 kinds of flash modes available. They are IP65 rated. That is good enough for us. We like to go through some water and stuff like that, so having that IP65 rating is great. These are, looks like a couple little whip flags too. American flags, nice. All right, let's see. Got some zip ties, some caps. I'm not sure what that's for yet, but we will figure that out here soon. Very nice economical packaging with these foam little spacers. That is one of the whips. Nice, look at that. Got this spiral wrapped LEDs. This looks like a kind of billet aluminum attachment, quick disconnect here, and a cap right here. So you can do expansions on this and make them taller. These are the 3-foot lights, but they are threaded for extensions. I like the 3-foot lights so I don't get them hung up on branches and stuff like that as much. But if you want longer ones, you can have really long ones if you want. Throw these all off of here. And looks like this is the remote. Little instruction manual here. Tells a little bit about the product. And there's an app you have to download for the control if you want to control it on your phone. Otherwise, you can just use this little light switch right here. Yeah, so this explains the remote here. Basically, you have your on-off switches, your speed plus and minus. That's so like your flashing features and stuff like that. You can do those quicker or slower. Then there's the mode, and you can select up and down on the modes. And then there's the color switching, and that's up and down on the color switching modes. And then there's some other programs here, some colors and stuff like that, some general stuff that you can use with this remote. We're probably just gonna use the app most of the time, but the remote is handy. Then it has these little quick disconnects that plug in. And then this is the control box. One thing about this that I really like is that it has capabilities for your turn signal. So this is just your general red and black ground. So you attach this to your power. And then these are for your turn signals. The white wire is for your reverse. The red is for your brake. The black is for your turn right. And the blue is for your turn left. Since we have a street legal kit on our machine, we're gonna go ahead and put that on. So we will have that capability. The reverse light on the KRX isn't really wired, so we're gonna have to wire that in later. However, the brake lights and the turn signals are gonna be wired up right here in this video. So let's go ahead and get right started into the installation and show you what these things look like, and then I can give a better review of them. Okay, so we're over at the machine, and I have these brackets installed on the cage. I'll probably put a link down in the description where you can find those. They're just some cheap brackets. On the stock KRX, there'll be a little welded mount tab right here that you'd install the whips on. We're gonna go ahead and install it on these brackets here, and I'm gonna show you how to do it, but it'll be the same installation as like the stock mounts. It's super simple. So I'm gonna come over here and get our quick connects, and gonna go ahead and twist this guy until it comes off like that, and then you just pop it off. And then right here you have your little nut and washer. I'm gonna go ahead and undo that guy. I'm gonna take that completely off, and this washer. And so we're gonna come over here and we're gonna feed that wire down through the hole for the light mount. Gonna go ahead and pull it through and drop it down like that. And then we're gonna take our hardware and we're gonna put this big large washer on first, string that through, then the lock washer, and then finally this nut here. And gonna go ahead and string that through, push it all the way up to the red portion and screw it on. So one thing about this design that I do like is that the wire goes down through the base of the attachment point. And what that allows you to do, and you can see how it's designed, the wires are actually right there in the attachment point itself, which is different than a lot of these whip lights. A lot of the whip lights have the wire come out to the side or something along those lines, or it comes directly out of the whip itself. And so what I like about this is you can keep it all wired up and you know, you can remove the whip light without having to do anything with the wiring. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I hate wiring. And so having this in a permanent installation where you don't have to mess with the wiring anymore is ideal for me. So I really like this design because it's quick disconnect and then you don't have to mess with the wires anymore. Once you have it snagged up, we're gonna go ahead and use an adjustable wrench. I'm not sure exactly what size this nut is, but it doesn't have to be too tight. I'm gonna just compress down that lock nut. These are aluminum threads, so you don't want to over torque it. So now I want to show you how easy it is to install and uninstall the whip light. There is a little alignment feature right here, that little white mark, and then it lines up with this alignment feature right there. There's another little white mark. All you have to do is put those two in the same spot. This little fitting down here kind of compresses up, and then it should just slide right down into place and snap into place like that. And if you ever want to take it off, say you're trailering, or you know, you are in an area that you think may someone might want to steal your whip light, you can just go ahead and pop it off just like that and go put it in the truck or, you know, somewhere safe in the locked position. So I really like that feature of this because I don't like my stuff getting stolen, and you know, whip lights are one of those things. So having that quick disconnect is really, really nice. That way we don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna go ahead and put the other light on, and then we're gonna show you how to do the wiring. And it's not that hard either, but there is some specific things you wanna think about when you're doing the wiring that we're gonna go over. So now it's time to wire up our control box for the whip. The considerations you wanna think about are where you're gonna be getting your power from if you want it constant keyed on. Kawasaki actually has a wire already run for that, for the key on position, for whip lights specifically. And you can find that up there in the stock harness here. I'm gonna show you where at. It's basically right up in here. There are these two wires. I'm using them for actually something else right now, but they're right in here. They kind of branch off, and then there's some loose pigtails, and that is for whip lights. And there's the same thing on the other side, and that just is keyed on to power, and it's very close to where the stock mounts would be. The stock mounts would be somewhere right in there. So if you want to have them on when the machine is on, that is a good way of doing it. And then you can just turn it off and on via the app or via the remote control. For how I'm going to install it though, I want it to come on with the rock lights, and I want to be able to turn it off and on with the rock lights on. And so I already have wires run around the machine for the rock lights, and I'm gonna tie in power there because that way I have it on a switch in the cab and I don't have to mess with the remote or my phone if I don't want to, and I can just quickly, you know, turn on and off my rock light switch, and then all my lights will come on, my rock lights, my whips, and my Rebels Off-Road light too. And then for the turn signals and stuff like that, I already mentioned I do have the turn signal kit already installed on my machine. I made a video about that, you can check that out, but you might think that I might be tying into that kit, and actually that's not the case. The controller on these whip lights need 12 volt positive, and my blinker kit that I have already installed actually runs on the ground side of things. So essentially it won't work just to connect it into the blinker light. So I'm gonna run a circuit and I'm gonna show you what circuit it's gonna be using. A lot of the blinker kits do run on a positive light, so you might wanna check that before you go to the trouble of running that circuit if you have already a street legal kit on it. So if you don't already have blinkers on your ride, this is a diagram that you can follow to connect it. It shows all the components that you'll need, and basically instead of the right rear and left rear connections here, you would make those to the control box that came with the whip lights, and that would allow for the signal to be transmitted to the turn signal in the whips. For the brake lights, I'm going to tap in to one of the brake lights wires. Now I'm going to select the place that I'm going to be putting the control box. And so what I'm thinking is I want it nice, high, and dry area. So I'm probably going to mount it actually right to the firewall, and then that way I can, you know, drill a little hole in the firewall to run my wires to the left and then to the right. And then I am close to the power for the rock lights, which will be for my power. And then I will also be close to where I need to tap in for my turn signals and my brake lights. So that's the type of thing you need to be thinking about when you're installing your kit. Where do you want your junction box to be? Where is a good line of sight? You know, I think these controls work really well, but having it closer to where you're gonna be, you know, pushing your button on your remote or on the app or, you know, your controls is gonna help out a lot with the signal and stuff like that. So you wanna place that where it's gonna get good signal, you're gonna be able to tap into power easily. You know, it's just gonna be all around easier on you. So that is where we're gonna go. All right, so I got it all wired up, and I'm gonna check out how I got it wired, and then we'll check it out in the dark, see how it turned out. We don't have reverse lights in the KRX yet, so I haven't wired that up, but we do have the brake lights, which I tapped in right here. On the KRX, it's a blue and yellow striped wire. If you have a different machine, you'll have to probably break out a voltmeter and test out each of those wires, probe each of these wires to see which one's 12 volt positive when you press the brake pedal. And so I routed this wire down to where it ties in to the control box for the whips. I mounted that control box right there. As you can see, it's a nice spot because it's got where I can route the wire down through there, drilled a little hole, and then down through there, which was already a hole there for my Click 6 harness brackets. I routed the wire for the blinker switch all the way back behind the firewall to the blinker switch back there. Basically, we're gonna wire it up exactly how that diagram showed it, with the switch and the positive and the flasher mechanism and all of that. I'll post a link down in the description where you can find all of that additional hardware in case you don't have a street legal kit installed. But we're gonna go ahead and get it all installed just like that diagram right now, and we will be back. Okay, so I got it all wired up, and now I'm gonna show you some of the features. And so to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and switch on my rock lights, which will illuminate the whip. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on to engage the street legal kit. This is my button for my left and right turn signals, and I'm gonna go ahead, you can see the whip light is doing its normal thing, and then when I flick it to the left, all of a sudden it is now blinking amber, and you can see the other one is still doing the normal thing while that one is blinking amber. And then if you want to turn on the other side, it turns on just like that. Also, the brake pedal, watch this. So when I press the brake pedal, they turn red. Right? And they got that little like blinking light thing when you hit, that I really like. Really cool products. The control on this is awesome. You have tons and tons of options for colors, blinking, faster, slower, brighter, different colors like I mentioned. So it is nighttime and it's time to test out these lights. So I'm gonna flick them on and get some darkness in here. so you can check them out. Now, one thing that I kind of wish was different on these is I wish there was an option for a spring mount base, because, you know, as you know, on the East Coast, there's lots of trees, lots of rocks and stuff like that. And these do get hit by trees, and you can see they're very flexible. I mean, that's a lot of flex, and that's not going to hurt them. However, if they had springs here, you'd be able to flex them a lot more without worry. And, you know, that might be a upgrade, you know, a suggestion upgrade for NiceCNC in the future, to have an option for spring mounted bases. Other than that, it's a great product. I mean, I really can't say enough about these products. For the price, you got the blinkers, you have the brake lights, you have the reverse lights that you can wire in, and there's tons and tons of features, tons of colors. You can go faster, slower, you know, you can change the width of the lights, you can change the color of the lights. Just a ton of options on that remote control and on the app that you can do with these whip lights. And they're very bright, they're pretty. I mean, really, they're just a great whip light. And for the price, I don't think there's much better out there. As always, I'm going to go ahead and post the link in the description where you can find these products, and also an exclusive discount code just for you for watching this video and subscribing to Rebels Off-Road. I'll also provide that one down in the comments. So check that out and check out those whips. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked this video and you found it helpful, do us a favor and smash that like button and consider subscribing. If you do subscribe, go ahead and ring that bell, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. We have a ton more riding videos, installation videos, review videos, and more coming up here at Rebels Off-Road. You're not going to want to miss, so go ahead and do that so you do not miss a single episode, and we'll see you next time.